Occasionally, I have to go and brief senior leaders on issues, and Secretary of Defense being one. And you have, it's very clear you have a finite time to get your message across, because it's just like I said before, he's got to worry about what's going on in Syria, Afghanistan, and of course, not having grown up in a background of health and healthcare, terms and issues are foreign and context is lost. And so what you've got to do is make sure that you move into that situation. You're able to concisely communicate the issue, not the problem. I'll get to that in a second. Communicate the issue, okay, in language that he understands, or any senior leader understands. And remember, again, this part of those that are north of me, they're basically lay people relative to health. Okay? And they will think like lay people relative to health, not in the technical terms of a doctor. I cannot go in there and talk doctor talk. Okay? I've got to reinterpret the issue in terms of the political situation, the budget situation, even as I drive them toward my selected course of action, which may include the technical solution that the folks below me will understand, okay? So you have a finite amount of time, you got to succinctly address the issue, you got to move into the solution statement, not the problem statement. Senior leaders, when you operate at that level, can't go into their bosses with the problem. You can state the issue, but you've got to be ready to provide courses of action that drive to a solution. That is a fundamental difference than what might happen in smaller organizations. The senior strategic leaders shouldn't be about necessarily problem solving. There are too many problems for them to solve. Their job is to understand the situation, to integrate it into the broader political and maybe even budgetary or other situational concerns, enable their people to effectuate the solution. One other thing I'll mention, because it may not be intuitive to a lot of folks, is that a lot of work that is done in upper levels of government, upper levels of the military, are done by staff action. And I don't know if you've had an opportunity to work as part of a staff, or when you do staff analysis. That's something that is rigorously taught in the military. Staff roles and function and staff analysis, basically. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because one of the issues you should, at some point in your career, be able to get experience with is how to work within a staff, how to do staff analysis, basically. And then when you become a senior leader, you'll know the pitfalls of staff interactions and staff analysis. I always say to my folks that when they come in to brief me, I don't want the product so refined that I don't have some sense of granularity as to what some of the nuance issues are, because it may be over-refined. It may lead to the wrong choice or the wrong answer. And as a leader, you've got to get to the place where you can examine the staffing process and make sure it hasn't gone off the tracks, basically. That they haven't misinterpreted data or information, leading you to the wrong decision, particularly when you have to integrate a technical set of issues in the context of a political or more global set of concerns. Is that understandable? At some point in your careers, you need to be involved with staff action so you know how that works, so that when you get to be a senior leader, you know what the vulnerabilities are of staff that doesn't work well.